Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, I am finally home. It is time for the August tier list update. Got the sound fixed. I'm in my regular place. This is going to be great. Now, a couple of things. We got to jump into this, right? A couple of things I think are really important to let everyone know. Now, I've been doing this for 2 years, or almost 2 years as far as the tier list is concerned. But I was really talking with the MCoC Illuminati, my rankings team here, and we're like, you know, I do a BG's tier list. DLL does the Essential War Attackers. Nerd with the BG rank ups top 10. I mean, the guy's honestly in the top 10 of all Battlegrounds players. Slayman has the Horseman rankings, if they're a Horseman, where they would be ranked. And then I have the Essential MCoC Knowledge videos. This game is so big, so complex. I think it's time to continue to update the way we evaluate champions for this general tier list. And so I want to call attention to that, which is why you're going to see so many buffs, really, or what look like buffs as far as the rankings are concerned, because this tier list is now solely and completely formatted around the idea the champions who will best help you efficiently clear content. It no longer includes Battlegrounds or War or things like that. They can be used as a tiebreaker, and I'll get into that when it's time. But in general, the only way we are evaluating these champions is how well are they efficiently helping you clear content. That is it. And we've all got together, spent a ton of time on this. And the other thing I want to mention is this is a springboard. This is meant to give you a snapshot of what myself and the MCoC Illuminati think. You pull a champion, or you're just looking to rank someone up, and you're like, huh, what do they think of Domino? And then you go and you take a look at this. And then hopefully you take a look. I'll have some videos up for you. That's what these links are for, is a playlist on my channel of videos I've made, or someone else in the MCoC Illuminati, or another YouTuber who I think has done some phenomenal work. And then you go and you watch those and you do your research, and then you play them yourself, because you have to like them, in my opinion, or you just won't play them, or you'll feel like it was a wasted rank up. You've got to play them. And this game is way too big and complex. Like, as you can see from all these other rankings, this game is way too big and complex for one champion to always be better than another, and no one knows your account or what your account would benefit from more than you do. So use this as a springboard, fun conversation piece. I'd love it if you hit like, you hit subscribe, you share this, hit that notification bell so you catch all the content. But then go do the research on your own too and watch some of these other videos. All right, let's jump into this. You can see there's some massive changes. I don't normally have champions highlighted in that hot pink. Usually I use a microphone emoji to show that we're going to talk about them. And we will talk about the new champions from this month, being Gorr and Valkyrie. And I'm going to do my best to very quickly talk about champions that are in hot pink, because they have had their rankings changed or evolved because of this new format, or just overall performance. First one is in the Mystic tier Hood. Really, he's deserved it for quite a while. I was on him pretty early when his buff, his second buff went live. Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. The way he currently is functioning, I was a really big fan. I don't know if I saw him eventually making his way to the tier above all, but I knew he was good. It's just a matter of learning how to play him, using his invisible, and then managing his bullets a little bit if he's not in a buff-heavy matchup. The beautiful thing is he's got that great synergy, I believe, is with Mole Man, that is helping him replenish those bullets even more quickly than just using his miss mechanic. He's great. He's fantastic. We're seeing him used in the Eternity of Pain, which is really not a surprise. He's up there. He's going to help you clear content. Moving on down to the top shelf. Dragon Man Symbiote Supreme. You know, I've been a fan of Dragon Man almost since he came into the game. I really like him. I'm so happy to see him up there. Dual immunities, the power gain. Anytime a champion has that sort of power gain and the ability to put out damage, they are at least going to be usable, in my opinion. And he's got so much more going on. Symbiote Supreme. The game does appear to be, I don't want to say moving in the direction, but they're adding design space between neutralize, cosmic champions who maybe can't be nullified, or if you do nullify them, something else happens, they become passive, like Hulkling there. The fact of the matter is, though, is that's just a new thing, a new avenue that's being explored and built upon. Symbiote Supreme, if there's buffs, there's almost no one better. He's fantastic. He's awesome. He's going to help you clear content. He really deserves that ranking. And that's going to be a theme you're going to see in almost every group. Science doesn't have it for some reason. But in so many of these classes, you're going to see a lot of growth in the top shelf. And I think a lot of that is due to, actually I know it is, from us removing Battlegrounds and War from part of the consideration. This is about rank up advice for your general content requesting, you always obviously get it. If you're interested in tier lists for Battlegrounds or War or things like that, or Horsemen, you see those links right there, or you can just go on my channel or the channel of these MCSU Illuminati. Check them out. You'll get better at this game. Okay, moving on to Super Premium. And one of the big differentiations, or one of the ways, the metric I'm using to decide are they top shelf or the Super Premium is, are we seeing them use, or are they champions I immediately think of when we have bigger content, right? Like maybe story, I guess, in some way, but really like this Eternity of Pain, Summer of Pain, Grandmaster's Gauntlet, Everest stuff. If there's someone you're usually thinking of or we're seeing them use for it, top shelf. If not, Super Premium. Super Premium is great. It's awesome. But that's where that's a big differentiator there. So we got Wiccan, Man-Thing, and Juggernaut. Wiccan, I liked him early. In fact, I think I was too subdued, right? As a YouTuber, there's this mental thing, right? You do where you're like, okay, do I show people the amazing, crazy numbers all the time, but then potentially mislead them that, well, there's going to be a lot of scenarios where they're not that strong? Or do I do the subdued kind of balance thing and then maybe I miss out on views? I think I went a little too far on the missing out on views with Wiccan. I did the Essentials video on him. I saw a tremendous amount of potential. And then thankfully for me, himself, for all of us, Bryce on the MCoC Illuminati has a rank 4. He's using him in content, Eternity of Pain and more, Alliance War, right? Wiccan is a beast in the right scenarios, and I really think, to borrow Campo's term, he is more specialized than he is niche. You're gonna see it. Check it out if you're wondering what I'm talking about. I would not be surprised within the next month or two we see Wiccan moved up to the top shelf, especially as more people get a chance to get him. I think his featured crystal is going to be like 3 months away, so it might take a while, but I really believe we're going to see him. He's great for the game is now and where that seems to be headed. Man-Thing, his SP2 was actually buffed, and it made a significant difference. And it wasn't even buffed, it was fixed. It was fixed the way it's supposed to be. We live tested him on stream. Really excited about him. The only reason I don't have him higher up is Slaymon and BMcG both have rank 4 Man-Things, and they were like, okay, settle down, Vega. He's good, but maybe don't rush to rank him up any higher. So I want to listen to them. They have rank 4s. They know what they're talking about with regard to him. Juggernaut. Tested him on stream. I really am a fan of this buff. I think he is helpful to definitely newer players who pull him. They need a can't stop, won't stop champion or something like that. But additionally, he's doing really nice damage, utilizing that SP1 with the, I think it's the Energize, helping you make sure that you have maximum velocity or whatever it's called for the SP2. And then I like that he does have a weakness, right? In that those non-damaging debuffs or things like that get put on him, he loses his gem. You can, if you're like, no, I really enjoy Juggernaut, I want to use him, you can throw that SP3, you'll get it back, and then I think the gem can't be removed for 20 seconds. I don't know if that's the ideal way to play him, but so if you have a more mature account, you're probably using a different Mystic or a different option for these fights. But if you don't, at least there's something there where you can use your Juggernaut. I think he's very worthy of ranking, as you can see there. Wong, let's keep our eye on Wong. I need to learn to play him more. I will get out an Essentials video on him as well. I think there's something there. I don't want to go too far into it, but I'm kind of feeling like he's a bit of a different version of handling the same problem of maybe Wiccan. I'll explore that more in the Essentials video, see if there's something to that. Purgatory. So we've recently started something on my Discord server where we started a channel called Educate Us on Your Champion, right? MCoC Illuminati, I love the name because they are so smart at this game. And myself, we have large rosters, or we've been playing the game a long time. We play a lot of champions, but we can't know everyone. It's just not possible. This game is way too big, way too complex, right? I read the comments on these videos every single month. I've been doing it for almost 2 years. I've learned so much from them, but there's still going to be experiences that we're not capturing in that group. So we have this channel, and Purgatory is one of the ones that's come up. Now, it was DLL, ironically. That's the first one we'll talk about. But he's been using Purgatory to actually clear content on his alternate account. He's been doing a phenomenal job. Purgatory still would really benefit from a buff. There's some design, I don't want to call them design flaws, but there are flaws there that could be improved upon. But she can be used. It's great. That's why I've got that highlighted. Now, moving on to Mutant. They're the first example where you're seeing a massive amount of groups a massive amount of grouping, or a massive grouping, let's say, that was hard to get out, of champions have moved into the top shelf. And that so much makes sense to me, because we weren't seeing them in high tier war all the time or something like that, but that's not their fault. That's a different mode. It's a different mode. It requires, I think, almost a different way of thinking about the game, or fight by fight. White Magneto, Bishop, Storm, Strife, Havoc are all excellent champions. In fact, I have Bishop at rank 4. I just took Storm to rank 3. Thank you, OYC, for letting me know how wrong I was about her. Played her a lot on my vacation. I'm really becoming a big fan. White Magneto, I say this all the time. You guys will hear me say all the time, no, he's not Red Magneto. That's okay. He is phenomenal. It's not just that pre-fight. He can do plenty of things on his own. Strife, I don't think he's just for Everest content. We're seeing in Eternity of Pain, and then also with, I think it was the Karina's Challenges, or the new volume 2 of that, with the all mutant Abyss. You see how good he can be in the Everest content. It's not just that. I have a video out on him where I actually show him in questing too. He can be phenomenal. He's a little complex to play, in my opinion, but that's because there's just so much packed in there, and it's how you actually kind of get that utility out of him. A little complex. And then that's really it for the mutant tier as far as changes are concerned. We'll move on down to the science one. The big one I want to point out as far as the big mover to the higher tiers is Scorpion. Whew, wow. You can see we've got him with the synergies emojis, and or in his case, the high tier, high skill. Now it's for two reasons. One is, and I've got the essentials out on him too. I've got a video out on a lot of these champions. If you see the link, you just assume I have one. But if he's with Anti-Venom or Venom, Venom himself being a very good champion, you can play Scorpion in a very different way than you traditionally play him, or without those synergies, and still achieve excellent damage. And of course, the utility is there as well. If you don't have those synergies, then you do need to play a significantly more high skill play style, intercepting with those specials. It's doable. I've gotten better at it, but I'd be a little worried about taking him in somewhere where I was just frightened to die. Because you can still make mistakes. I do feel like they've added something to his graphics or move set. There's a thing there. It's not as big of a window as Hercules, but there's a thing there that I think is helping you intercept with your specials. He's great. He's fantastic. If you're interested in learning more about him, make sure you watch those videos. He's very deserving of this. I could see him even moving up in that tier, but once you're in the tier above all, I mean, really, you're good. I think we're splitting hairs. Moving on down. Now, the same thing we've seen in other classes, for some reason, happened in science, where you see this large group of champions has moved up to super premium. The only reason they're not higher is because, again, remember that the marker was, I don't think we're seeing them much in Eternity of Pain or Grandmaster's Gauntlet or things like that, but they are phenomenal champions. In fact, this is nice. We get a chance to talk about Anti-Venom, these champions who have been brought to my attention through that channel on my Discord server. It was Egatron. I have it written right here. He did a really nice write-up on Anti-Venom, because you don't just go in there and say, like, you're wrong, this guy's good. No, you go in and you explain so we can all learn. Everyone on that Discord server can learn from you, and you can teach us, and it's great. And one of the things that he wrote would really hit home with me. I was like, okay, that resonates. That makes a lot of sense. Because I'm one of the people that was always like, yeah, here's the thing I don't like about Anti-Venom. He's got all those debuffs. They provide tremendous utility. But then you need to cash them in to do this big damage off the SP2, and then you lose all that utility that you were building up. And he's like, look, that's not wrong. But in practicality, in the ways you're actually using Anti-Venom, if you were using those debuffs for the fight, then the chances are you actually don't want to remove them because they're handling the fight for you. So you're not needing to get to that SP2, and you're not needing to remove them. I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's an example of someone who's really invested in the champion, who's played them a lot. Makes a lot of sense. And then if you're just using him for his immunities, I think it's to poison and incinerate, if I remember correctly, then you don't care as much about the debuffs. If that's the only reason you're using him, you use that, get that big SP2, you win the fight. That really made a lot of sense to me. I would not be surprised if we continue to see him move up a little bit more. I could see it with Joe. Joe's a little confusing to me, I'll be honest. And then Abomination, that we really went through, as I'm sure we missed some, but champions that receive a basically like a material increase in their value based on the synergy. Abomination is with Red Guardian. This spreadsheet will be linked in the description, probably a week or two after the video. I'm not sure. I'll get it in there though. I always forget. And it will be linked in my Discord server. You can go down there on a separate page on the spreadsheet. We have all the synergies listed so that you know, like, okay, Abomination has the synergy marker. Who's it with? You can go, you check out that. It'll let you know. It's with Red Guardian in this case. MCoC, that's from Nerd. Nerd has let us know how good MCoC can be with a certain set of synergies. I actually don't remember off the top of my head who the synergy is with, but again, you go to that page with the spreadsheet. Moving on to the tech class. This is, again, one of the ones I referenced earlier. You see this massive grouping of champions that have moved up into that top shelf. I think I said it earlier, but I won't normally have them all in hot pink. It's just so many in this particular video that I left that in. Normally when we talk about a new champion's movement, I'll have an emoji to designate it. But they're all there. They're very deserving. The one I feel like talking about now, there's two of them. One is Hulkbuster. He's where he should be. In so many videos, I would say, I love Hulkbuster, but the MCoC Illuminati is telling me he does not deserve to be promoted. And I would always be like, yeah, you're right. We're not releasing him in Battlegrounds. They're right. They're war planners, top 3 alliances, Noon, SSX. Like, they know what they're talking about. We're not seeing him there. But I was like, no, I use him in story content so much, or in questing, or EQ, or I used him in this latest Eternity of Pain, the one with all 3 or 4 fights put together. He was great. He is a great champion. I have him at SIG 100, and he's healing up, I think, over 50 or up to 50% from where, it's that 15% health with his healing kicks in. He's a fantastic champion. You don't just have to get his SB2 and heavy in the corner. Like, I'm very aware of that. And the other one is Mysterio. When he's synergized with Penny Parker, you don't have to pick and choose anymore between utility and damage, and it really opens him up. He's a fantastic champion. I actually may take mine to rank 3 soon because I enjoy him and Penny together very, very much. And then, I said too, but I see War Machine. Because I see a lot of people still having questions about him. He will handle so much for you, especially if you don't have some of these other tech champions. But even if you do, he's increasing the value, or can increase the value, of all other tech champions. If you're really curious about him, or you have him and you didn't know, you didn't want to rank him up or something because you didn't see him high on other tier lists, make sure you check out some of the videos on him. There's videos from Campo and Bryson there. I think it'll really open up some eyes. And then I'd be remiss if I did not at least point out Pun 99, I think where he really should be. On the, Education on Your Champion, my buddy, a channel member, Fan, he's been beating the drum for Punisher 99 for a very long time. He enjoys using him. He does great work with him. And he's right. He is right. And the thing is, I'm sorry, and I'm going to forget the name, but someone, I think in Noon, just used their Punisher 2099 to absolutely destroy my rank 3 Domino in a very tough fight in Alliance War, and he did not even have the Captain America Infinity synergy, and Pun 99 just absolutely owned it. He's a great champion. You see all the different emojis we got him up there with, and I think arguably he could be in the top shelf. Again, the reason he's not, though, is we're not seeing him in the EOP and things like that, and that's not a slight to the champion. It's just a way of helping us kind of get this information out to you all. Going into skill. I'm not going to get into the Mole Man controversy. I put out the video. I think I really liked it on how to replace the old Mole Man, right? We've got a new version of him. Whether you call it a nerf or a fix, I think both words fit. It's a bit of semantics on how you want to portray it. But we do have a new Mole Man. And I think one of the things that was mainly taken away, a lot of people commented on it, and one of the things that resonated and made a lot of sense to me was it took a little bit of the ease of playing him away in those really tough matchups where you often used him before. And I get that. I still think he's an amazing champion. And I think one of the best ways to replace that old Mole Man is with Mole Man. However, Shang-Chi, and I feel good about this. Again, this is part of getting the format right, or the framing of the question of why are you doing the tier list? How are you doing it? Shang-Chi is phenomenal. If you can play him at a very high skill level, I think he can do the vast majority. He can't heal like Kingpin, but he can do so much of these other things, and he can do it without any synergy partners. None at all. In fact, I'm going to have a video coming out, depends on when you see this, of him taking Node 26 Void. And I remember when I saw the assignment come in, I was like, Karate Mike's my battle planner, him and B McG. Like, you guys are crazy. I have no clue how I'm going to take this fight. And then I talked to Mike, and he showed me the strategy that he and I think Wheeler had come up with from BG3 and 4 Loki. And I was like, that's genius. That is absolutely genius. I'm very excited to show it to you. And I have had a rank 4 Shang-Chi. He was my first rank 4. To him Sig 200. I got out what I thought was a great video on how to play him. Really trying to talk to people about, like, don't worry about a set rotation. Just learn the champion, very similar to Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm at high skill level. He can do these things for you. And I think there's even more. It's just, you got to learn. You got to put in that time with him. But he can do it. Again, we're seeing a clumping of champions that have moved into the top shelf. They're very worthy of it. I'm not going to belabor the point. I think by this time, if you've been watching, you get it. Elsa Bloodstone, Crossbones, Hitmonkey, all phenomenal champions. We don't see them in high tier war that much. That doesn't mean they're not deserving of these rankings. We can see them in EOP, Gauntlet, things like this. Campo used his Elsa Bloodstone in Grandmaster's Gauntlet. She had great work. It's a really cool video. Moving into Super Premium now. Here's another one. Na on my Discord server. He's been showing us the way with Black Panther for a very, very long time. I'm a fan of Black Panther. I'm like a tenth of the skill of player Na is, especially with Black Panther. Doing phenomenal stuff. Thank you for sharing that knowledge with us. Masacre and Black Widow Deadly Origin. You all have been telling me for a while they should be moved up higher. I think this is a better reflection of their value to an account. And then Valkyrie, I want to get this perfectly correct because she's a complicated one for me, or a complex. No, it's complicated. I see reasons why she could be good, and I know incredibly smart players who love her. I also know incredibly smart players who are like, I don't see why. I don't see the why. And I'm going to direct quote DLL. I did ask him, can I direct quote you on this? And this is just, the guy's just, look. He's incredibly smart. He's smart in general, but he's very smart about this game. And here's exactly what he says. Basically, I think the unique, unstoppable counter and stun immunity are automatically powerful. That's a great point. Her combo manipulation feels kind of like what Squirrel Girl was aiming for as far as dealing with void and counter tactics. And she has solid damage potential in an interesting way. Okay, right there. And you've heard me talk about this sort of thing. I'm not going to belabor this one. But when a champion comes out with a new ability or a new design space, let's call it, for the game, that always gets my eye. I'm like, I'm interested now. You got me. I'm interested. I'm sitting down. But if they don't have the damage or something else to back it up, then I just feel like, okay, this is a precursor to something hopefully cooler coming later. And I actually used Squirrel Girl on stream the other day, and I've used her before as an example of she had that combo manipulation, but the rest of her kit didn't back it up. And now we're seeing it with Valkyrie. I like that. It has me very intrigued by her, but I will admit, I find her a bit confusing to play. And so I'm not sure. I could see her ending up in top shelf. I don't see her moving down to premium for all the reasons DLL listed. That's where she's at. If you have experience with her, let me know. This often happens with a champion. Where little time needs to go by, more people in the community need to get her, or the content or defenders who she's going to be great for just haven't come out yet. So let's see how that goes. Winter Soldier, that is a synergy. He's honestly almost like a better version of Star-Lord, who, if you've been playing this game long enough, you know that Star-Lord used to be in the tier above all. Well, not in mine, because I haven't been doing YouTube that long. But he was one of the best champions in the game. You desperately wanted Star-Lord. So that's not a bad thing. I want to make sure we call that out. And then let's get down to the Cosmics here. There they are. The big mover as far as into the tier above all is Cosmic Ghost Rider. Probably should have been there for a long time. But now that we've removed some of this other stuff, the irony is we're seeing him used more in war and in battlegrounds. I've put out a lot of videos on him. The big thing I always wanted to get across to people is don't be scared of dexting. There's just going to be dexting. That was interesting. Don't be scared of dexterity. There's just going to be this small window where you really don't want to use it. Learn his judgment system. If you learn that, you're even going to be able to get yourself out of trouble if you find yourself in it. And I know, I'm not looking to start the debate on all of this, but he does have utility. Let's move on. Odin, Angel, Venompool, again, great examples of formatting this better for the information we're trying to get across to people. They've moved up. Surfer, doing cool things in battlegrounds. Not that that's taken into account here, but he can be really cool. And then you pair him with Odin. That's a thing, but it's the pre-fights. That's the reason why he's not higher up. If you apply the pre-fights, he's actually probably top shelf. Gamora, I've been a big fan of that buff. I have her rank 3 myself and account my size. I've been using her in a variety of ways. She destroyed a boss for me multiple times on stream just the other day. We had a blast. Airwalker, this is going back with DLL again. You get him synergized up, and that new one with Gallon too. Watch out. Airwalker can really do some things if you've got him. You find his playstyle fun. My buddy TJ has a highly ranked Airwalker and liked him even before these synergies came out. He can do a lot for you. Ronan, the reason Ronan is marked there is just because this is, I know some of you, this will be the first time you've ever seen this video for me. That's what the call tier is for. In fact, you're going to see a lot of champions aren't even on this list. Every once in a while, it's because I've made a mistake and I just forgot someone. But by and large, for the most part, it's because I don't want to spend time talking about them or them taking up room on the rankings. They don't deserve to be ranked. And I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean, like, let's not waste our time on it. It'll make the video longer and the spreadsheet bigger. We've got plenty. The call is they've just got a job to do, or it's the baseline for ranking. And when I came up with the tier and the designation, Ronan was the ideal champion. He is phenomenal if there's a lot of buffs. You can bring him in, he'll handle it. You will almost never want to use him for anything else. And then Gorr. This is almost like a bit of a punishment done to prove a point. I'm sure he could be a little higher up in there, maybe even arguably in premium. The fact is, I think there was a bit of a miss. They tried to do something cool. Yes, that SP3 can do a lot of damage. He does seem to have some defender capability, and I think that can make things a little more difficult on the designer when a champion is designed to be a good defender, and to make it so they don't absolutely crush us when we fight them. They're tough enough on defense as it is. Let's not make it so that if we make one slip up, they also one-shot us. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this content, please make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, get the notification bell, share it with someone who you think will benefit from it, share it with your alliance, share it in the line chat, and have a good time with it. You guys can debate, and then let us know. Let me know, the MCoC Illuminati know. What did we get right? What have we got wrong? I always enjoy reading the comments on all of these things. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.